My precious child, I need you to pause everything right now because what you're about to hear isn't happening by accident. This December, something extraordinary is unfolding in your life, and I've been waiting for you to reach this exact moment. Do you realize how blessed you are to be hearing these words during this sacred time? December isn't just another month on the calendar. It carries a spiritual weight that can transform everything you've been carrying. There's a reason your heart led you here during this season, a reason your soul is restless for change, a reason you've been feeling like something big is about to shift. That stirring inside you isn't confusion, it's confirmation. I'm speaking directly into your spirit right now because the time has come for you to understand what I've been preparing behind the scenes of your life. You've walked through so much pain, haven't you? There have been nights when the silence felt suffocating, when you questioned if anyone truly saw your struggle, when you wondered if your tears even mattered. I want you to know something that will shake the foundation of everything you thought you knew. Every single tear you cried was collected. Every whispered prayer you thought went unheard was recorded in heaven. Every moment you felt completely alone, I was right there, holding you together when you didn't even know you were falling apart. Nothing, absolutely nothing, has escaped my attention. The heartbreak that nearly destroyed you, the loss that left you hollow, the absence of someone whose presence meant everything to you, all of it has been working toward this very December. This is your season of awakening, your time of restoration, your moment of receiving what's been held in heaven with your name written on it. I know you've been carrying guilt that weighs on you like chains. You replay moments in your mind thinking you should have said more, done more, been more. You torture yourself with questions that have no answers, wondering if things would have been different if you'd just known what to do. My beloved child, I'm telling you right now, release that burden. It was never yours to carry. The person you lost, the one whose absence created a void you thought could never be filled, their time on earth was complete, not because of anything you did or didn't do, not because of any failure on your part. Their journey reached its appointed end according to a plan that was written before time began. But here's what you haven't understood until this moment. Their departure wasn't the end of their influence in your life. It was actually the beginning of something far greater than you can imagine. What you thought was a tragic ending was actually a sacred transfer. That person didn't just leave you with memories. They left you with a spiritual inheritance that's been waiting for the right season to activate. And this December is that season. Do you feel it? That unexplainable sense that something is different this year. That awareness that you're standing on the edge of breakthrough. That's not your imagination. That's heaven confirming what I'm telling you right now. The prayers that person prayed over your life before they left didn't evaporate into nothing. Every time they looked at you with love, every sacrifice they made, every moment they interceded for your future, all of it was deposited into a spiritual account that I've been keeping for you. And now, during this December, I'm releasing it. You're going to start noticing things you can't explain. Doors that were locked for years will suddenly swing open. Opportunities that seemed impossible will present themselves out of nowhere. People will be drawn to you, wanting to help you, invest in you, connect you to the next level. You'll have moments of unusual clarity where you just know what decision to make, what path to take, what to say yes to, and what to walk away from. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's the legacy working on your behalf. That's the inheritance activating inside you. The wisdom you didn't have before will start flowing naturally. The courage you never thought you possessed will rise up when you need it most. The favor that seemed reserved for everyone else will suddenly start resting on your life in ways that make people take notice. But I need you to understand something crucial. This December is special for you, yes, but not because December itself has magic powers. It's special because your heart has finally reached the place of readiness. See, I could have released this breakthrough months ago, even years ago, but you weren't ready to receive it. You were still drowning in grief. You were still suffocating under guilt. You were still looking backward instead of forward. But something shifted in you recently. Maybe you don't even realize it, but I saw it. Your heart started to soften again. Your faith started to stir again. Your hope started to peek through the cracks of your pain. And that's when I said, now, this December, this is when I'm going to meet them at the intersection of their pain and their purpose. Here's what I want you to grasp with everything in you. If you're hearing this after December has passed, don't think you missed your moment. Don't believe the lie that this was only for people who found it during a certain time frame. The truth is, whenever you encounter this word with a sincere heart, it becomes your December. It becomes your season of favor. It becomes your time of acceleration. December in the natural is just a month, but December in the spirit is a season of completion and new beginnings. It's when cycles close and new chapters open. It's when what seemed dead comes back to life. It's when heaven reaches down and rearranges everything that's been out of order. So whether you're in the actual month of December or it's June or September when you're receiving this, I'm declaring over you right now that this is your December season. This is when everything changes. The person you lost knew something you're only now beginning to understand. They knew their time was limited, even if they never said it out loud. And in those final days, weeks, or months, they were praying prayers that reached beyond their own lifetime. They were speaking your name before my throne. They were asking me to watch over you, protect you, guide you, provide for you, and bring you into everything you were created for. Do you know what that means? It means you're not just living your own life. You're living as the answer to someone's deepest prayers. You're walking as the fulfillment of intercession that was soaked in tears and desperation. That's why the enemy has fought you so hard. That's why you've faced obstacle after obstacle. That's why it's felt like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Because there's an assignment on your life that hell doesn't want you to step into. But I'm here to tell you that every attack you survived has only made you stronger for what's coming. Every betrayal you endured taught you discernment you couldn't learn any other way. Every loss you grieved expanded your capacity to carry what I'm about to give you. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was meaningless. Even the seasons that felt like you were going backward were actually preparing you for the acceleration you're about to experience. This December, or this season you're calling your December in the spirit, marks the end of barely surviving and the beginning of truly thriving. The struggle that defined you is about to be replaced by a testimony that will inspire countless others. Now I want to talk to you about something that might make you uncomfortable, but I need you to hear it. You've been living small, not because you wanted to, but because grief convinced you that you weren't allowed to dream anymore. Loss told you that joy was disrespectful to the memory of who you lost. Pain whispered that if you moved forward, you'd be leaving them behind, and so you stayed stuck. You built a memorial out of your sadness, and you've been living in it, thinking that was honoring them. But I'm telling you, that was never what they wanted for you. The person who loved you, who prayed for you, who sacrificed for you, they didn't intercede so you could spend the rest of your life in emotional prison. They prayed for you to flourish. They asked me to bless you beyond measure. They wanted you to live fully, love deeply, and leave a legacy that would outlive you just like their love is outliving them. So this is your permission slip. This is your release. I am giving you freedom right now to step out of the tomb of grief and walk into the sunlight of purpose. You don't have to feel guilty about smiling again. You don't have to apologize for feeling hopeful again. You don't have to shrink back when good things start happening again. Because every good thing that comes into your life from this point forward is a direct result of the prayers that were prayed over you. Every blessing is an answer to their intercession. Every breakthrough is proof that what they spoke over you is coming to pass. When you honor what they prayed for by receiving it with gratitude and walking in it with confidence, that's when you truly honor their memory. Let me tell you what's about to happen in this season. You're going to be presented with choices you haven't had before, invitations you weren't expecting, connections that seem too good to be true. And your first instinct might be to question it, doubt it, or talk yourself out of it because you don't feel worthy. But I need you to fight that instinct. I need you to recognize that favor isn't always about worthiness. Sometimes favor is about assignment. Sometimes blessing isn't about what you've earned. It's about what's been stored up for you by those who loved you into destiny before you even knew you had one. So when the opportunity comes, say yes. When the door opens, walk through it. When the provision shows up, receive it with thanksgiving. Because this is the season of overflow, and I didn't bring you this far to leave you empty-handed. There's something else I need to address. Some of you have been waiting for a sign. You've been asking me to show you clearly if you're on the right path, if you should keep going, if there's really a future worth fighting for. Well, this is your sign. The fact that you're hearing these words right now, the fact that something in your spirit is resonating with what I'm speaking, the fact that tears might be streaming down your face or your heart is pounding in your chest, that's me confirming to you that you are exactly where you need to be. This isn't random, this isn't background noise, this is divine orchestration. I led you to this moment because I'm about to release something you've been asking for, praying for, crying for, and I needed you to be in a posture of receiving, not striving. I needed you to be still enough to hear me, soft enough to believe me, and open enough to let me work. You might be wondering what you're supposed to do with all this. How do you walk out this inheritance? How do you steward this legacy? Let me make it simple for you. Start by talking to me more. Not religious prayers that sound good but don't mean anything. I'm talking about real conversation. Tell me what you're afraid of. Tell me what you're hoping for. Tell me when you're angry, confused, or disappointed. I can handle all of it. I'm not intimidated by your honesty. In fact, I'm drawn to it because that's when you're being real with me. And it's in that place of authenticity that I can do my deepest work in you. Next, I need you to start paying attention to the subtle promptings you feel. When you think about reaching out to someone, do it. When you feel led to give, even when it doesn't make logical sense, obey. When you sense you should walk away from something that looks good on the surface, trust that instinct. That's the inheritance at work. That's the wisdom that was prayed into you becoming active. The more you honor those promptings, the stronger they'll become. You'll start to move with a confidence you've never had because you'll know that it's not just you making decisions anymore. It's me guiding you and the legacy working through you. I also want you to take care of yourself differently from this point forward. Your body isn't just a shell you're dragging around, it's the temple that houses the assignment. So rest when you need to rest. Eat in a way that nourishes you, not just fills you. Move your body because it was created to function at its best when it's active. Guard what you allow into your mind because your thoughts shape your reality. Surround yourself with people who call out the best in you, not those who keep reminding you of your worst moments. Create space for silence because that's where you'll hear me most clearly. All of this matters because you can't carry what I'm giving you if you're running on empty. And here's where I'm going to ask something of you that requires faith. I want you to share what you're receiving, not in a boastful way, but in a way that extends hope to others who are drowning in the same pain you just walked through. There are people in your life right now who need to hear that loss doesn't have to be the end, that grief doesn't have to be a life sentence, that absence can actually transform into purpose. When you share this message with them, you're not just passing along a video, you're becoming a link in a chain of healing that stretches far beyond what you can see. You're multiplying the inheritance. You're honoring the legacy by letting it flow through you to reach others. So I'm going to ask you to do something right now that's going to feel small but carries enormous spiritual weight. If this word has touched something deep in your soul, if you sense that what I'm speaking is true and real and meant specifically for you, I want you to share this with 11 people. Not 10, not 12, 11. There's something about that specific act of obedience that breaks open the heavens over your life. It's a prophetic action that says, I believe what I just heard, and I'm going to act on it. And when you move in faith, I respond with power. Doors that were sealed will crack open. Breakthroughs that were delayed will suddenly accelerate. Answers that seemed impossible will present themselves in ways you never expected. Also, I want you to subscribe to this channel because what you're receiving today isn't a one-time thing. This is the beginning of a journey where I'm going to continue speaking to you, guiding you, and equipping you with exactly what you need for each season. Staying connected here is staying connected to a stream of life that will nourish you when everything around you feels dry. And if you have the means, there's a link in the description where you can donate to buy a coffee. But this isn't about coffee. This is about sowing a seed into something that's feeding your spirit. Every small act of giving, especially when it's done with a sincere heart, positions you to receive in greater measure. And I want you to know that whatever you give will go toward feeding children who don't have enough, and it will be given in your name. So you're not just supporting a channel. You're literally becoming the answer to a hungry child's prayer. How beautiful is that? That the same legacy working in your life is now extending through you to touch a life that desperately needs it. Before we go further, I need you to do one more thing. I want you to comment below, and I want you to type the word Amen or write out the specific thing you've been believing for, the dream that seems impossible, the breakthrough you've been praying for. Because when you put it into words, when you declare it in a space of faith, you're activating something powerful. You're agreeing with what heaven is already saying over you. You're aligning your mouth with my promises. And I'm telling you, what you write in faith today is going to become your testimony tomorrow. The words you type are going to come back to you as evidence that I heard you, I saw you, and I moved on your behalf. Now let's talk about what happens next. You might walk away from this moment feeling encouraged, feeling hopeful, feeling like something shifted, and that's good. But I need that feeling to turn into action. I need you to live differently starting today. Stop waiting for everything to be perfect before you make a move. Stop waiting to feel completely healed before you step into your purpose. Stop waiting for permission from people who don't understand your assignment. The inheritance is active in you right now, which means you have everything you need to start walking in a new direction. It won't all make sense immediately. You won't have the whole roadmap laid out, but you'll have enough light for the next step, and that's all you need. Some of you are going to see financial breakthroughs in this season that will shock you. Money that was owed to you will suddenly come through. Opportunities for increase will present themselves. Ideas will drop into your spirit that have the potential to generate income in ways you never considered. Don't dismiss them as too good to be true. Don't talk yourself out of what I'm trying to give you. Receive it, steward it well, and watch how I multiply it beyond what you could ask or imagine. But remember, the financial blessing isn't the ultimate goal. It's a tool to support the mission. It's provision for the assignment. It's resources to help you become who you were created to be and do what you were created to do. Others of you are going to experience relational restoration. People you thought were gone forever are going to come back around. Apologies you never thought you'd hear are going to be spoken. Connections that were severed, are going to be mended in ways that only I could orchestrate. But I also want to prepare you for this. Not every relationship is meant to be restored. Some were only for a season, and that season has passed. Don't force what I'm not endorsing. If I'm closing a door, trust that I'm protecting you from something that would hinder the next chapter. And if I'm opening a door, walk through it even if it feels unfamiliar or uncomfortable. New relationships are coming that are aligned with where you're going, not where you've been. For those of you struggling with your health, I want you to know that I see the pain you're in. I see the exhaustion that never seems to lift. I see the medical bills piling up and the diagnoses that feel overwhelming. I'm not asking you to pretend everything is fine when it's not, but I am asking you to invite me into the struggle. Let me carry what's too heavy for you. Let me speak peace over the anxiety that grips you in the middle of the night. Let me bring wisdom to your doctors and discernment about what treatments to pursue. And even if the healing doesn't come in the way or time frame you're hoping for, trust that I'm working something in you through this process that couldn't happen any other way. Your body may be weak, but your spirit is being strengthened. And that strength is part of the legacy you're going to leave behind. There are some of you who've been battling addiction, struggling with habits you can't seem to break, feeling enslaved to things you hate but can't stop reaching for. I want you to hear me clearly. You are not too far gone. You are not beyond saving. You are not a lost cause. The shame you feel is not from me. The condemnation that tells you you'll never change is not my voice. I'm the one who's been reaching for you in your lowest moments, whispering that there's still hope, still a future, still a chance to start over. And this December season, or whatever season you're claiming as your December, is your moment of liberation. The chains that have held you are breaking. The cycles that have repeated are ending. The power that thing had over you is being severed right now. You're going to wake up one day soon and realize the craving is gone. The pull isn't as strong. The temptation doesn't have the same grip. And you'll know it wasn't willpower that set you free. It was me doing what only I can do. I also see those of you who are carrying secrets you've never told anyone. Shame from your past that you're terrified will be exposed. Mistakes you made that you think disqualify you from ever being used by me. I need you to understand something that will revolutionize your entire life. I don't need you to be perfect to use you. I need you to be willing. I don't need you to have it all together. I need you to be honest about where you're broken so I can show my strength in your weakness. Every person I've ever used mightily in history was flawed, messy, and broken in some way. But they said yes anyway. They let me take their mess and turn it into a message. They let me take their pain and turn it into purpose. And that's exactly what I'm offering you right now. The legacy you're receiving isn't contingent on you being flawless. It's released through your surrender. So stop hiding. Stop pretending. Stop running from the very things I want to heal and redeem. Bring all of it into the light. Confess what needs to be confessed. Release what needs to be released. Forgive who needs to be forgiven, starting with yourself. Because the moment you stop trying to manage your image and just show up as you truly are, that's when I can really work. That's when the inheritance becomes active. That's when the legacy starts to flow. As we come to the close of this word, I want you to sit with everything you've heard. Don't rush past it. Don't just move on to the next thing. Let this settle into the deepest parts of your soul. Let it rewire the way you see yourself, your past, your future, and the purpose you carry. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, called, equipped, and empowered to do something that only you can do. The pain you've survived has prepared you. The loss you've endured has positioned you. The grief you've walked through has given you a compassion and depth that can't be taught in a classroom. All of it matters. All of it counts. All of it is working together for your good and for my glory. So rise up, beloved. Shake off the heaviness. Wipe away the tears. Take a deep breath and step into this new season with confidence. You're not going into it alone. I'm with you every step of the way. The person you lost may not be physically present, but their prayers are still working. Their love is still active. Their legacy is still unfolding, and it's unfolding through you. Live fully. Love deeply. Walk boldly. Give generously. Forgive freely. And watch as I turn your mourning into dancing, your sorrow into joy, and your pain into a platform that will impact more lives than you ever dreamed possible. This is your time. This is your season. This is your December, no matter what the calendar says. Receive it, believe it, walk in it. Amen.